Well, good day. So for today's video, let's get into the cybernetic Christmas mood as we watch Inspector Gadget fight against Dr. Santa Claw. Ho, 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 ho. So alright, let's go Gadget!
Yeah! So, we start off in the happiest place on the planet Earth, Santa's Toy Factory! Yippee hooray! Ah man, like things are going so great there, hey? Santa Claus is full of holly jolly, the elves are starting a new workday, singing songs, having fun building toys, Mad Cat is walking around like he- wait, what? Mad Cat? Oh crap, that's not good! If Mad Cat is there, that means- oh, he is! Damn it! Dr. Claw has snuck into Santa's workshop, and he is dressing up in a Santa uniform. And, oh, no, Dr. Claw, no. You do not mess with the jolly fat man at Christmas. Crap. Dr. Claw just messed with the jolly fat man at Christmas. Worse yet, he placed a hypnotizing device in the hats of all the elves, so now they are forced to do his bidding, starting with locking up Santa Claus. So with Dr. Santa Claw taking over the operation, his plan is to break all the toys so every children gets a broken toy at Christmas, which would ruin Santa Claus's reputation and therefore Christmas. Clearly his most diabolical plan to date. Meanwhile, at the Metro City Mall, Inspector Gadget is reading his Christmas list novel, basically, to the mall Santa Claus there. But this mall Santa is no mall Santa. It's actually Chief Quimby in disguise. He gives Gadget his new mission, which is to save Santa Claus from the grasp of Dr. Claw. So as per usual, this message will self-destruct, and Inspector Gadget accidentally blows the chief up basically with the message while he's dressed as Santa, which should terrify every single kid at the mall who just witnessed Santa Claus take on heavy damage like that. Thusly, Inspector Gadget, Penny, and Brain all fly up to the North Pole to see what they can do. Which, sure, yeah, they flew up there on some kind of, military-grade plane, but still, it still seems kind of easy to just fly up there, anyone can meet Santa Claus whenever they want. I guess if they have a plane. Anywho. And, wowzers, hey? It's like being a kid in a candy store times 20 billion. Like being a kid in Santa's workshop? Holy crap, that's awesome! And so, Gadget meets up with the big man himself, and it's almost tiresome, but Inspector Gadget cannot see Dr. Claw in a disguise and thinks that he's talking to the real Santa Claus to get the lay of the land and what's going down. At the same time, Penny and Brain try to talk to some of the elves there, but it's kind of weird. These elves are all basically catatonic. There is a foul game afoot! Also, Penny, from a great distance, notices Dr. Claw in the Santa disguise talking to Inspector Gadget. And so, the formula of the show stays true. Brain goes in disguise to follow Inspector Gadget, and Penny looks around like an actual inspector, trying to get to the bottom of all this hoopla. While Gadget is singing a interesting rendition of the 12 Days of Christmas, he gets beaten up by a bunch of toys and eventually joins Santa Claus in the dungeon in the floor of the workshop, which is kind of weird, really, right? Why there's a dungeon in the workshop, in the North Pole is kind of beyond me, and I can't shake the feeling that something really horrible went down once, and they kind of needed it there. But regardless, Gadget meets Santa Claus and his reindeer in this prison and arrests Santa Claus for being behind this Santa Claus attacking plot. So with Gadget captured, it's up to Penny to save the day. And so she immediately starts to, oh crap, she got captured. She's now trapped inside of a giant Charlie in the box. So now it's up to Brain to save the day. Help us, Brain the dog. You're our only hope. So Brain needs the key to the dungeon cell, which is insane, but the key is on Mad Cat's costume. So as Brain is trying to snag the key off of the cat, he's accidentally strangling this cat like right in front of Dr. Claw's face. And man, I don't know if Dr. Claw is farsighted or something, but he can't actually see this cat being strangled in the air right in front of him. But it works in Brain's favor as he gets the key and gets to Inspector Gadget. And also to rescue Santa Claus from Inspector Gadget's interrogation, to some partial success. Santa and Brain are accidentally tied up to each other while Inspector Gadget leaves, leaving the dungeon open, and which Santa could walk out of but chooses not to because of reasons. Nonetheless, so it is Christmas Eve after all, right? And while Gadget is helping Dr. Claw fill up Santa's sleigh with these crappy toys, Penny and her computer book realize that these elves are being mind-controlled by their hats, so she decides to look for the power source for this brain drain and shut it down, which she does! Luckily, Dr. Claw left this thing behind in Santa's office, so it was pretty easy for her to shut it down. A Christmas miracle! So things are not looking good, seeing as Dr. Claw tied up Santa's sleigh to his Madmobile, which seems like it would fly around the world a heck of a lot slower than a bunch of magical flying reindeer. But what do I know? And it's at this point that Santa fights back! Gadget ties up the Madmobile to a candy cane, which isn't really planted in the ground that well. And it really should break off with, just a little bit of force, but it doesn't. And now that the Madmobile is grounded, even though it could fly away at any time, the reindeer break off part of this iceberg so Dr. Claw and his car can float away into the Arctic Ocean. Man, so the workshop is on top of an iceberg or something? Either way, the day and Christmas is saved! Hooray! The sleigh is loaded with good toys, and the Gadgets are given the Red Sleigh treatment, where they get to travel around the world with Santa Claus at speeds so fast that the regular human brain would not be able to comprehend. So if you were good and you got gifts this year, you can thank Inspector Gadget. Well, Penny. You can thank Penny. And with that is the end of this Go Gadget episode!
So yeah, hey, that's like your typical Inspector Gadget episode with a Christmas twist. And it's actually pretty decent, right? Like, considering Inspector Gadget has been all around the world, like, literally in, his TV show. So for him to wind up in Santa's workshop, like, probably the only place he hasn't been yet, it makes sense. Unless he hasn't been to the center of the earth, then I guess we still have one more episode in us, hey? And, even though, like, those mad agents didn't really factor into this episode, they did actually allow us to see them get the crap beaten out of them by Inspector Gadget one last time. For old time's sake. And as we have seen, this is a story of revenge. The reason why Dr. Claw wants to ruin Santa's reputation is because when Dr. Claw was, I guess, pre-med Claw? Orderly Claw? A youngin' anyway, Santa did not give him the gift that he wanted the most, which was the dirty trick sled. That thing sounds pretty dangerous, man. Like, I'm sure we've all flipped on a sled going downhill, but dirty trick sled? Holy jeez! I'm pretty sure that was pulled off the shelves, based on all the lawsuits from children with broken arms. And, Dr. Claw just saying, if you didn't get a gift from Santa Claus, like, there might be a reason. If you can't figure out how the naughty nice list works, like, I don't know what to tell you. One thing that made me giggle like a little school child was when the elves kind of described everything they were doing as an elfing task of whatever kind, Kind of like they were swearing the whole time. Let's get out of our elfin beds and go to elfin work and build some elfin toys, Are they really not happy? Like, are they just being passive-aggressive with their anger? Maybe they didn't get their bonus of extra sugar plums or something, right? Nah, they got it, man. Santa would definitely treat those guys right. And the historian in me did like it when Inspector Gadget, called the reindeer by their original names. Well, almost their original names. He did refer to the reindeer as Dunderhead and Blitzkrieg, which is almost correct. So just for a little fun fact, Donner's original name was Thunder, not exactly Thunderhead, and Blitzen's original name was Blixim, not Blitzkrieg. But you know, that's typical Inspector Gadget fashion, right? Just close enough, but not exactly correct. So, you know, like I say, your classic Inspector Gadget episode, you know, if you haven't seen it, you basically already had, you know, with the other ones. But seeing as it's Christmas, you know, might as well check this one out. But with that, we do have a couple of things behind the scenes with Inspector Gadget and Santa and other kind of stuff like that going on over here.
So yes indeed, Inspector Gadget, how did we get to this Christmas special? Well, for that, let's turn into the ghost of Christmas past and take a looky-loo at how things came to be. So, you have the new show, Inspector Gadget, which first debuted on December 4th of 1982. And in that pilot episode, we did see our good inspector friend with a pretty fantastic mustache, which he quickly got rid of. The show did run for 2 seasons with 86 episodes when it ended in 1985, but it was in syndication well into the 90s, so it kind of felt like it never actually ended. And that is where we get to our featured episode. So Inspector Gadget Saves Christmas debuted on December 4th, 1992, which is exactly 9 years after the show first premiered. And this special is kind of interesting considering that the series ended in 1985, so because everybody who was basically involved in the original Inspector Gadget series came back to work on this Christmas special, this special itself is considered the series finale of Inspector Gadget. Well, almost everybody. So in the original series, voice actor Cree Summer was the voice of Penny, but because she was so busy with other projects at the time of this Christmas special, she couldn't make it. And therefore, Erica Horn jumped in to voice the Inspector's niece. Which is why in this special she does sound a little bit more squeaky at some points, and just slightly different, but really not that different. Also, you did not hear the legendary Inspector Gadget theme song in this special, mostly because, you know, Deke had the copyrights for the characters and all that stuff, but when they were teamed up with Saban, well, Saban had the rights to the music, and these companies weren't talking, so therefore, you needed a new song. Which kind of sucks because, you know, that is such a legendary theme song, man. Ugh. I don't know if I can sing it because it's copyright, but you know, you get it, right? So this is the first time that Inspector Gadget met Santa Claus. Well, technically, and it's also not the first time that Inspector Gadget went to the North Pole. So there was a season 1 episode called Gone Went the Wind, where Inspector Gadget had to go to the North Pole to stop a mad scientist that worked for MAD, so a mad scientist named Dr. Focus and his horrible invention, the Sneezooka. You know, now that I think about it, like, if I ever think back on Inspector Gadget episodes, the Sneezooka is probably the one that I do think of. So, in that episode, obviously, he's in the North Pole, so just like this Christmas special, he has absolutely no problems flying up to the North Pole, and therefore, technically, not a lot of other people would. And also in this episode, Inspector Gadget did get snow blindness, where he mistook a polar bear for Santa Claus and started asking for gifts, which you've seen him do with the mall Santa Claus in this episode. So it all kind of comes full circle in a way, I guess, you know? But even though this is the end of the Inspector Gadget show, fret not! This is not the end of Inspector Gadget. In fact, this is only the beginning. There were many other Gadget-themed television shows and movies and video games. One of those shows was Gadget and the Gadgetinis, which was a direct sequel series to the original Inspector Gadget series, which is kind of cool, you know? I never heard about that show, man, and I watched a hell of a lot of Inspector Gadget when I was a kid. In this one, Gadget is now Lieutenant Gadget, where there are 2 Gadget-type kind of characters that do a lot of the field work, and Penny is giving them information from her desk office somewheres, or still joins in on the action. So in season 2 of this series, they did have a Christmas episode, and it was called Santa Claw. Well, that's kind of an obvious name. But in this one, we find out that Santa's workshop at the North Pole is actually under the North Pole. I guess he learned his lesson from the previous Christmas episode. And also in it, Mad, yet again, infiltrates the workshop so he can get the elves to make a Mad Agent kit for the kids that will hypnotize the entire youth of the world to become Mad Agents. So, not too far off this featured episode. There was, of course, also the live-action Inspector Gadget movies and spin-off movies and, whatnot. So, man, oh man, if you want Inspector Gadget content, you're not gonna run out for quite some time. But yes, indeed, for this Inspector Gadget Christmas special, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. It's the same premise as every other Inspector Gadget episode, just with a straight-up Christmas theme. So that's pretty much all I got for that stuff there. So yeah, man, with this, that, those, and the other things, I guess that's that. Also, if you're interested, I created my own comic book channel, 215 Comics. And currently, I have created my own cartoon series, The Adventures of the Density. And recently started a radio series featuring my newest character, Elastomorph, with more titles to come. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link up top here to that channel and some links at the end of the video. Yeah! Right on, and there you go. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it as much as I did making it. Also, feel free to check out the source material that I featured in this video. And if you want to leave a comment on anything you may have liked or things I might have missed in this, feel free to do so. Or anything else, just to say hi. That's cool too. And other than that, have a great day. Thanks.